Hello, fellow explorers. What are your energies surrounding the resolutions, the changes, the new energies that you'd like to bring into your life in the coming year? How are you showing up for these choices, these things that you'd like to see changing into your life? How will this affect your context, the relationships that you experience? And what is our ultimate ability to give you advice on how this change will go about? So let's go ahead and jump into this pick a card tarot reading and we'll find out. Welcome, fellow explorers. Welcome to the Mystic Lemur. My name is Rita, and it is my honor to be your guide through the messages in this reading. Today, we are asking the question, how are you supported in the resolutions that you are undertaking in this new year cycle? What are your energies around this request for change that you're setting into your intentions? And how are you showing up for the changes? How are you showing up in the context that's making you want to produce these changes? What are these changes going to be doing to affect the context of your relationships and how you're existing in your life? How are you going to be showing up into your life if these come about? And ultimately, what is the advice that we can offer you as to the likely outcomes that you should consider, and whether you may want to step forward with this particular choice to change as you see fit? What are your challenges to do so? And if you might want to rethink how you're going about this in some way. So for the energetic context of the reading as it's happening right now, this is happening at the time of the new moon cycle in the end of December 2019. So we're bringing in that Capricorn energy. So very many of you may be coming in with the intentions, the resolutions to level up in your financial abundance, in your career domain. And so these might be some of the energies you're bringing in. You also might be looking to level up in your physical fitness, in your relationships, both romantic and platonic, familial, so with your family, with your romantic attachments, with your friendship networks. So these are all valid sorts of questions that could be addressed with the piles that we have here before us. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. So for us to be able to settle into allowing our intuitive voice to step forward and give us the wisdom of these readings, with the knowledge that you're always best served to listen to that inner voice. That discernment will help you to single out and pull out those messages that are for you and that are appropriate for you at the space of your development, your soul evolution at this very moment. You are always your best expert on what's right for you today, and you should always only take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't, with the knowledge that you may return to this reading at some other point and have another point resonate for you, because these are very complex messages and they sit differently with different people as they move along their paths in different ways. So coming to settle into our comfortable seated position, sitting onto a chair or onto the floor, getting that sense of grounding into the earth beneath us. Getting into that sense of feeling like there's roots growing out through our feet, legs, sits bones, rooting deep down into the supportive, nourishing energies of Mother Earth beneath us. Pulling that nourishing energy up, shooting up through our stacked spine, out through the crown of the head, and feeling the heart swell with love and compassion, letting that voice of the inner light shine out, hearing the resonance of that inner light as we come to take our cycle of 3 mindful breaths to really hone in, settling in the energetic, emotional, physical bodies together in alignment to let the intuition step forward. Taking a big belly breath in on the inhale and exhaling. Big belly breath in on the inhale and exhaling. One more big belly breath in and exhaling to release. Coming now to orient in, zero in, hone in on the pile or piles that may be speaking to you, I would encourage you to orient towards one pile for each of the intentions that you'd like to step forward into 2020 with, or the next year that you are approaching, with the knowledge that you might find that more than one pile speaks to you. And if you find that you need a few more moments to, again, to really hone in on the messages that are here for you, of course, you're invited to pause the video here, and we will go ahead and jump into pile number 1. Pile number 1. What are the energies that support you in desiring this change? And how might we best advise you to step forward in this intention? And what are the sort of challenges that you might expect? How can you best navigate through this evolution that you're facing right now? So what do we have for you first? Pile number 1, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 9 of Pentacles is a card that speaks of the collective conscious status of Earth at this point in time. So Pentacles is the suit that speaks of the Earth, of physical manifestation, of the physical reality in front of us, and the 9s in these minor arcana suits are talking about what is present just above the level of being, again, in the physical reality, more in the collective conscious. Coming up in reverse, what may be the past actions that have led you to desire this change, again with the knowledge that we are experiencing this reading being offered in the season of Capricorn. So it could be that you have been desiring to level up and to really set up your financial abundance, your legacy in the physical domain, but you're feeling that you've been limited, or you're not quite pushing through whatever internal barriers might be here to make that step forward. So what are the present actions that are affecting this choice to bring in this change for you, group number 1? We have the 4 of Swords. So you're also in a space where you've been trying to take rest. You've been trying to step out of, I'm seeing stepping out of the rat race here. Stepping out of, again, if we're taking this as the collective conscious of Earth, you're trying to step out of the expectations of the people around you and come into this space of bringing your mind to rest rather than running it ragged all the time. And what are the likely results of this choice if you are successful in bringing about this resolution, this intention to bring something new into your life? What are maybe the unintended consequences you might want to have your awareness pointed at? We have the 10 of Chalices. So this is a very promising card. This is the card that's bringing emotional stability, realization of emotional completion, a happy family life, right? So you might have been in a space where you're trying to level up in your physical, set up your legacy. And you also currently are in a space where the way that you've been doing it isn't working for you anymore. You need to come into a space of letting your brain rest, letting the mind rest, not running yourself so ragged. And the result of pulling forth this intention of new change into your life is going to bring about that happy family life. So it could be that your motivation to change and to set up your legacy is for your family, is to set up your family, to provide for your family. Maybe your family situation has changed and now you've decided that you have to be the provider for not just yourself, but for an entire group of people who are very reliant on you. And this is going to be a very good change for you in sort of making your own choice to be your owner of your own energy, your owner of your own mental effort. It's going to be supportive in connecting you with the people that you love in a very deep and meaningful way, in a way that is actually present in your lived reality right now, not just sort of in that intention of someday. So what are the context or the ways that you're showing up into this situation, the way that this will come out to the rest of your context, so that your relationships, what are other people experiencing about this? How are you being in your environment that is going to be part of what will bring about this change for you? We have 5 of Wands. So the 5 of Wands is a challenge sort of card, as a challenge in your energy. So it could be that you're very used to using your energy for your for running your hustle, or maybe even running a side hustle or 5, right? Like you're very set on leveling up your financial abundance, and this determination that you have is something that a lot of people, maybe you're kind of known for this, and so what you're being you're going to have to deal with is that your challenge is here in how you're applying your energy to shift that. And to, again, in the context of this particular card, we have a lot of green. So it could be that you're really being asked to step out of that physical reality, which is more in like the root and sacral chakra, even into the manipura, which is the solar plexus, and stepping up into the heart. So stepping away so much from the being the boss person and stepping more into a nurturing space. And we have the possible challenges, things that could delay you in bringing about this change that you intend. We have the Four of Chalices. So the Four of Chalices is bringing about emotional stability. So the Cups is a suit that's all about the emotions, all about the even the emotional body and the intuition, the ability to listen to your spidey senses in some way. And we have this image of this person hanging out under this tree, looking quite exhausted, and we have these three cups in front of them that are already drained. So there's like emotional energy, emotional drain is what I'm seeing here. So you might be feeling, because you want this rest, you might be feeling like you're at your emotional limits, but you have this other replenishing energy from spirit coming in as an offering to you. But the challenge is that you might, again, be really used to looking at the world in a particular, very practical, pragmatic Capricorn kind of way, or Earth sign kind of way. And you might be challenged to look a little bit more from this intuitive rather than this practical, physical reality, to get this new flash of replenishing, rejuvenating energy to come in and help you really bring about this change to get this happy family life that you're looking for, or this happy emotional fulfillment that you're looking for. And what are the likely outcomes that we can project for you given this energy profile? Again, with the knowledge that nothing is set in stone. You are the author of your own destiny, and so this is some insight that you might see into the present energies and the trajectories that you're on. What are some of the outcomes that we can project for you? Group number one, we have Four of Wands. Very beautiful energy here. So the likely outcome here for you is not only stability, you're being challenged to build stability in your emotional well-being, and building that stability by tapping into spirit, or tapping into your intuition, tapping into less practicality than maybe you're used to, and building that balance with the way that you're using your energy. So coming out of this struggle, this striving, and into you have this image of this woman who's shedding off this cloak, this outer layer, this sort of persona. As I was saying, maybe you have this persona of being the workaholic. You might need to shed that persona, or there's persona of being the highly pragmatic person. You might need to shed whatever it is that you've been in order to come into this space where the Four of Wands is often a card about celebrations. It's about marriage, again, happy family life, emotional fulfillment, and celebration. So she's shedding this outer layer that no longer serves her, and she's getting ready to dive into this water, right? Into this emotional wellspring here for her, with these lotus blossoms that haven't quite opened up yet. So she's ready to step into her realization of enlightenment by shedding this layer of this persona that she no longer needs. So what are our best bits of advice for you? Group number one, we have the world, right? So the world, again, we're in this space of Saturn or Capricorn season at the time of this reading. So this is a card that's ruled by Saturn, just as Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And what this is telling us is being very mature, right? So this, again, could be that you're experiencing a leveling up in your family life, and you think you need to show up for your family in a new way. And so stepping into that parental role, and stepping into that, adulting up, leveling up your adulting skills. And also we have these images around the edges that are talking about the different elements of life. So bringing it together, all pieces of your life, bringing them into alignment so you can achieve this maturity and this leveling up. Again, with Saturn, there's also some level of restriction. So not being as irresponsible with the ways that you have been doing things, and stepping up into your responsibilities in a really elevated way. So some pretty positive energies for you here, group number 1. You seem to be quite well supported in attempting this change, and so far as it is doing so, that in a way that's making you come into this space of releasing this mental tension that hasn't been serving you, and coming into this, all of this stability. Oh, I just saw this. We got 444 as well. So yeah, big support from spirit as well here. So this 444 energy often speaks of, if you happen to believe in such things, the archangels are also around supporting you. So if you have a practice of calling in archangels, it might be a good time for you to call in. If you're looking for healing, that could be Raphael. If you're looking for protection, that could be Michael. Your guides can help guide you to the angels to call in if that's part of your beliefs. Otherwise, it's also just a really great, very strong sign that you are supported in bringing about this foundation that can be setting up your lineage, can be setting up your legacy to support this happy family life and this completion of being in that space of emotional fulfillment that you're striving for. All right, group number 1, what are some words of wisdom from the flowers that we can share with you? We have anemone, optimism. Look up and look brightly. So especially if you're feeling pretty burnt out here, if you're feeling pretty tired, the outlook here is good for you. You just need to keep the faith. And some words of healing wisdom we have for you, group number 1. Here's the back of this card. Again, we have this water imagery here, and also this gray and black theme, which is mirroring this 4 of swords. So coming into a period of release and rest. Could also be that you're feeling in a space of being in some form of a dark night, of having things being pulled away from you. And so what we have here is see yourself as you would see a friend. Be objective about it, right? So this really, I think, sits well with this other message from the flowers. So this is definitely indicating some layer of taking heed of your self-talk, right? So many of us are much harder on ourselves than we are on anyone else. So if you're looking for this emotional fulfillment, you can start by building that emotional fulfillment within yourself, by being your own best advocate, by speaking to yourself as you would a dear friend. So would you berate, would you tell your best friend how horrible they look, how worthless they are? You would never do that. You would get after them for saying that about themselves, right? So you have every encouragement here to help this come about, to help you succeed in bringing about this change, this intention of change in your life, group number 1, by really minding your self-talk. And this could also speak about like practicing CBT, so observing your thoughts. And if you notice yourself running a story about yourself that's really negative and really destructive, just be like, oh, I wonder why I thought that. Is that actually true? I guess it really isn't. So instead, I'm going to choose to speak to myself as if I were my own best friend, because I wouldn't let I wouldn't speak to that. I would not speak to my best friend that way, nor would I allow my best friend to speak to themselves that way. I would be like, why are you so down on yourself, right? Hey, that friend, say your friend's name is Sally. Sally, hey, Sally's my friend. You can't talk about Sally that way, right? So like, me, I'm my friend. I can't talk about me that way, right? So it sounds a little bit silly to say it in English, but that's the intent. That's sort of the vibe, right? So those are the messages I have for you, group number 1. Group number 1, thank you so much for letting me be your guide through these messages. I'd really love to know if you would write down in the comments below what your impression of this reading was. How did it sit with you? What do you think this might be indicating? Are you excited about bringing about this intention of change in your life with these insights to the energies that surround you? If you liked this video, you might want to give it a like. And if this was really hitting your vibe, you might also want to give this channel a subscribe so that you can keep up to date with its evolution. Subscribing will definitely help that growth of this channel. And you might also like to hit that bell notification button so that you can keep up to date with how things continue to progress. Thank you so much, group number 1. Moving on to group number 2. Okay, group number 2. What are the energies that support you in this desire, this intention for change that you have with this resolution that you are bringing forth into this next set of your next cycle of your evolution? So what are the past actions that have influenced this choice, this intention? We have justice. So this is speaking something that has happened to you in the past karmically. So this is a card that speaks of balance. It's ruled by Libra. It's also all about karmic justice, karmic balance. So you're trying to balance out your karma, either consciously or unconsciously. This desire to change is trying to bring about positive karma in your life. Positive because it's, upright, and you wouldn't really be here at a channel that is really intending to bring about your best self if you're trying to bring about negative karma. So this is looking to balance out your karma to bring about positivity, or at the very least neutrality. And what are the current actions that are leading into this choice, this desire for an intention for change? We have the Hanged Man upright in reverse. So the Hanged Man is a card that's ruled by water. And it's also all about changing perspectives. So it being upright here, first of all, this is kind of an interesting image. It sort of looks like this guy is floating in water and he's being held down here. So this could very much mean like you are feeling a bit like you're drowning, group number 2. So you feel the pressure for this change. You may have been avoiding this change for quite a while, and you're feeling like you have to do it now, because if you don't, you're in so deep that you've got to get yourself out. So good on you, group number 2, for being aware enough of that. Again, if this is a karmic cycle that's at play here, it could be that you've been noticing this same negativity returning into your life. And now you're finally at the point where you've had enough and you're ready to break the cycle. So what are the likely outcomes, possibly even unintended outcomes, that could be resulting from bringing about this intention of change into your life, group number 2? We have Knave of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles in reverse. So the Page of Pentacles is a spark of new direction in the way that you are experiencing your physical reality, especially in the sort of material, financial abundance domain. As it's coming up in reverse, this may indicate a new way of thinking within yourself about how your financial abundance can or should be produced. Again, we're in the particular energies of Capricorn at the moment of offering this reading, so that's probably feeding into the energies at play in your intention of change. It could also be that this is inviting you to realize that there could be a new direction that's happening, or a breakthrough in the way that your financial abundance is even conceived of in your moving forward with this choice to change your life, intention of changing into a new version of you, a new evolution of you. All right, so what are the contextual factors? How are you showing up in your relationships? How are you showing up in the context of your own life right now? That's also an influential factor that you might not be fully aware of yet, group number 2. We have Six of Chalices. This is a very beautiful card. It's a very sort of nourishing card. It speaks of friendship and also of happy childhood. So it could be that there is a child that's around in your context that you are also, this is a new part of your life that you think you need to sort of level up because you need to be a good influence for them. And this could also indicate inner child work, so that you're tapping more into your inner child, your inner being, and this energy of it becoming happier and realizing that this karmic cycle needs to end is propelling you forward and pushing into your favor for producing this change that you need in your life to help you get out of this sense of drowning. And what are the possible sort of challenges or limitations, things that will delay you or maybe set you off this path that you could be aware of? Group number 2, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is Mother Earth kind of energy here, combination of water and earth. So as it's coming up as a potential challenge, it could be that you are feeling a little bit lazy or feeling a little bit like, it's always been this way. So it's not that bad, right? Like, it is that bad, and acknowledge that it is that bad. Even if, on the outside, on the paper, it's good. Self-discipline is self-love. So it might be that you need to push yourself a little bit to get off the couch. It might be that you need to push yourself a little bit to get up a little bit extra early, to work just a little bit harder, because that extra nudge that you give yourself is going to be what really pushes you out of that sort of this doldrums that you've been stuck in, this cycle of negativity that you've been stuck in, letting you get back into the cycle of positivity that's going to nourish this child energy in your environment. And what are the likely outcomes that we can project to you, group number 2? Again, noticing and realizing that nothing is set in stone. You are the author of your own story, and you have every right, and you will choose what is right for you. So just giving us idea of this sort of energetic profile around you, what are your likely outcomes? We have the 8 of Chalices, right? So if you go forward with this intention of change, you will likely be successful in leaving behind that thing that isn't serving you. So this thing that's making you feel stuck in a bad karmic vibe, maybe getting the sense where you're feeling a bit like you're drowning, like you're really in over your head, you're going to leave that behind with bringing about this change, group number 2. And what is our advice, our best advice that we can give you for getting your best outcome out of this intention for change, group number 2? We have 5 of Pentacles, right? So again, this is another card. The 5s in the minor arcana, in the suits, they speak of challenge. And so this is, again, another challenge in the earth domain, the challenge in the physical domain. In the Rider-Waite deck, this is all about a perception of scarcity or perception of lack. So it could be that our best advice to you is to release those ideas that you are, you don't have enough. You do have enough exactly as you are right now. You can start right now. You don't have to wait. So again, if this is that heavy, earthy energy, that like sluggishness that's keeping you out of doing this new thing that's going to serve you. And this particular card, we have this woman stepping out in front of this camera. So it might be that you're feeling like you're afraid to be seen, like you're afraid to be out in the world. And whatever it is that this is causing this negative cycle, or this effect of this negative karma that's making you feel like you're drowning, it's something that's you're hiding behind, right? Like you're using this as a barrier, you're using this as a shield. And our best advice to you is to let that down. Let down your shield. Step into this vulnerability that allows you to express your authenticity, and speaking and acting from a space of being authentically tied into this inner being that's shining forth through you, nourishing this inner child, will help you to bring about this positive change that you intend in your life. And what are our words of wisdom from the plants we have to share with you, group number 2? We have status, adaptation, change will be better than you think. So it could be that you do have this intention of, I'm getting a lot of ideas about like you're trying to level up your physical health. That's really what I'm getting a lot for you, group number 2. So you might think that it's going to be really unpleasant to eat your vegetables and get up and exercise in the morning. Or if you're looking to level up your physical, like your financial abundance, you might think it's really going to be unpleasant to have to work a little bit harder. But it won't be as hard as you think. The hardest part is starting. And that it doesn't just mean like starting the process, so like the first time you do it, but every time until you establish that habit. It's the getting started that matters. So once you can adapt to that, embracing that change, it'll sort of develop its own momentum, right? And our words of healing wisdom for you, group number 2. Here's the back of this beautiful card. This looks like rays of light in the purple clouds and blue sky behind. So really it looks like a lot of hope and a lot of sunny energy shining out through the clouds. Like I'm getting the song I Can See Clearly Now, the rain is gone. So like you're getting out of this space of feeling like you're drowning and you're coming out into light. We have know that truth is a living force, whether you believe in it or not. So this is another card that speaks to me about your self-talk, and you got to believe it before you can see it. So if you're set in a way of looking at yourself, like if you have a very particular set image of yourself and you're having trouble believing that you can actually be this new thing, the truth is what you believe, really. And if you can get yourself in a space where you can believe that you can be the healthiest version of yourself through this change that you're intending to bring about, then that will help propel you into that, getting started. Getting started is the hardest part. And so truth is living. This is also saying like truth evolves, right? So as you begin to shift your perspectives about yourself, you begin to notice that the truth of yourself is also adapting and also changing. So being adaptive with how your story continues to evolve as you get yourself out of this space of being in a negative cycle and feeling like you're underwater. All right, group number 2. These are the messages I have for you. I hope those were helpful to you in some way. Please let me know in the comments below what your opinions, your reflections, how this resonated with you, what sort of pinged for you in this reading. I'd really love to know. And you might also like to hit the like button on this video if this was really beginning to hit your resonance. And if it really hit your vibe, you might like to give us a subscribe, maybe even hit that bell notification button. It does very much help the growth of this channel, so that we can continue to bring forth these messages that can help you shine your inner light. And I hope that I can see you again very soon, group number 2. And now we'll be heading on to group number 3. Okay, group number 3. All right, what messages do we have to share with you, group number 3? About what are the energies that surround this intention for change that you have in your life right now, this resolution to level up something in your life, and what are the likely outcomes for you, and how can we best advise you to navigate this change that you're facing. Group number 3. Group number 3, we have what are the past choices that have led you to this desire for change, this intention for change. We have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So 6 of Pentacles is another sort of balancing, nourishing card, and it speaks a lot of generosity. So we have this street angel here who is taking this gift of a surprise gift of financial support from this more prosperous man. So it's in the space of this person is seeing the humanity in this other person, even though they appear to be separated. There's actually this connection of knowing of unity here, and this generosity that produces from this, like, there but for the grace of God go I have plenty and he needs some, so why not share with that? So this being in a reversed position could be that the past decisions that have led you to this intention for change have been that you haven't been as generous as you could be. You've been a bit miserly. You've been really stuck in a perception of scarcity, and that has really been limiting you. And so these past actions are pushing you to either desire to have more generosity resonated into your life, so feel like you're bringing more generous people into your life if you've been sort of exerting yourself but not feeling like it's being given back to you, or if you've been a bit stingy and this is you want to level up into being more of a co-creator and a generous provider as well as a generous receiver of the gifts that are present in your life. So what are the current actions that are also around this intention for change for you, group number 3? We have the Sun in reverse. Very interesting. So the Sun is a very powerful card in the major arcana. It speaks about stepping into the light, and this white light at the top of this card also really speaks to me about like the all that is. And then we have these 2 figures these look like twins, so sort of like a uniting of the different parts of the being. Could also be speaking about like a twin flame sort of energy, and it being in reverse. This could mean that you are in a space where you don't feel like you see the light in your life. You don't feel like you see the upper levels, the upper higher levels of consciousness in your life right now. You feel a bit disconnected from your higher self at this point. So again, that maybe like you're feeling like the universe hasn't been all that generous with you. And the reason why you're feeling that way is because you're disconnecting yourself from your spirit. So what are the likely results of maybe even unintended consequences of this particular intention for change that you have in your life? Group number 3, we have one of chalices. We have the Ace of Cups. So this is the root of all water signs, and the root in the sense of it being rooted in spirit, right? So before it's even really a thought in a person's mind, it's present at this level of a brand new, fresh breath of energy into your emotional well-being. So this could be a sense of tapping into your emotions, tapping into your emotional body, or tapping into your higher levels of consciousness by paying attention to your emotions, by paying attention to your intuitions. So the likely unintended consequences for you is stepping more into this emotional body. So you can see the generosity around you by feeling into it, or you can be that fountain of generous energy for yourself by replenishing your cup, refilling your own cup, and realizing your enlightenment, realizing that it's there for you already. You just need to sort of open those blooms up and accept it. What are the what are the ways that you're showing up in the world around you? What are the ways that you're showing up in your own context? How is this decision to change likely to affect the relationships that you have? Group number 3, you have the Magician. So the Magician is a very agentic card. It's all about bringing about the life that you want. And the Magician does so by bringing together all of the elements of reality. So both the physical and the emotional and the energetic and the mental. And doing so in a very, again, agentic way. So we got this yellow energy here that's like the solar plexus, the manipura, the willpower. So the way that you are expressing yourself in the physical world around you, or the relational world around you, is that you are acting as the Magician. So you're acting in a very willful oriented, externally oriented way to really bring about your reality almost by sheer force of will. That's what I'm getting at that. And what are the challenges, or the sort of maybe the blocks that you might experience in trying to bring about this change that you intend? Group number 3, goodness me, group number 3. And again, with this idea that you might already be seen as among your context, among your peers, as the master manifester. What is the blockage that you might be experiencing? Group number 3. We have the Devil in reverse. Very interesting. So what we see here is that the Devil is a card that upright is also the card that's ruled by Capricorn, right? So we're currently in Capricorn season, and this could be an indication that your intentions are around Capricorn relevant energies, like trying to set up your lineage, trying to really be financially abundant, be a good, really savvy business person. Again, that like manifesting by sheer force of will kind of energy. But coming up in reverse, the challenges that you might be experiencing are that you are doing things in a way that aren't really suited to your higher self. So with the Sun in reverse here, you might be situated in this position where you're looking through lack, a lens of lack, a lens of perceiving not enough in your life, which is a limiting belief that is holding you back, and you're being asked to release this perception of lack that could be restricting you from tying yourself back into this higher level of awareness, higher level of consciousness that is being offered to you. And what are the likely outcomes for you? Again, with the knowledge that you are the author You're the author of your own story. None of this is set in stone. You can always choose to do whatever is right for you, and whatever choice you make will ultimately be what you need to be doing for the point of evolution of your soul that you're on right now. But the current energies that you're navigating, what is the likely outcome to be experienced? We have the Ace of Swords. So this is the root energy of all mental emotion, a mental energy. So also the root of air signs, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So this could be a brand new perspective on a brand new seed of the way that you're using your mind. Your mind is going in a new direction in addition to your emotions. So it could be that your mind is tying up into your intuitive emotional body, which can help you tap into that higher level of consciousness. And what is our best advice for what you should do now? Group number 3, we have Ace of Wands, new direction in your energy. So you really need to be looking to spirit here, because look at all these ones we have. Oh gosh. So this is one in the major arcana, but look at all of this one's energy here. We got 1111 for you guys. You are being called to tap into your spirit. So if you are feeling separated from your higher being, if you're feeling separated from your higher levels of consciousness, you're being called to bring in, especially the very root of where your energies in the mental, the energetic. So this is also a card. The fire also speaks of spirit. So where is your emotion, your mind, and your spirit oriented? And that will help you get past whatever this limiting belief, this perception of possibly of scarcity, perception of insufficiency, of physicality, that will let you step into this next layer of your evolution that is a part of this intention for change that you have, group number 3. So group number 3, what is the words of wisdom from the plants we have to share with you? We have Camellia, peace. Be calm, and calm will come. So if you are already these master manifestors, you know how important your mental state is. So what we can advise you, group number 3, is to tap into your inner being, tap into your higher levels of consciousness by cultivating peace. This could be cultivating peace through meditation practice. Meditation does wonders, especially for tapping into spirit, tapping into this spiritual layer of yourself, because all of this energy is coming from source. And what do we have to offer to you, group number 3, for your words of healing wisdom? We have: take time to acknowledge the subtle changes in your spiritual evolution. Group number 3, for real, guys. It's guys and gals. It's time to level up. It is time to embrace. You're being very likely called into a spiritual awakening. So it's time to let the subtle energies emerge to you. Be aware of those things that have been hidden to you, possibly because you've been closing your eyes to them, and allow this spiritual evolution to continue. And if you're in a space where you're well aware that you're ready to take on this awakening, you're ready to level up in your spiritual journey, be patient. The unfoldment process, so we have these lotuses here that are still very firmly closed, and they're unfolding at the right rate at the right time, because if you unfold too quickly, it can shatter you, right? It will, this is so much to, like, you can't hold all of source in you until your cup has leveled up, right? So you need to trust the process. You need to trust your spirit team to unfold you and help you unfold in the right way, at the right pace, at the right time. It won't all happen at once, and you don't want it to happen at once, because it might literally break your brain. It might literally break your spirit. It might literally break your emotional body. You become fragmented, and you come back into this space that you started out in, where if you're feeling separated from yourself and feeling in this space of not having enough. So to let this evolution happen, you need to, again, step in that space of peace and trust that you can tap into your guides. You can tap into your spirit team to help this unfoldment process happen. All right, so that's the message I have for you, group number 3. Group number 3, this is powerful stuff. I really hope that you're ready to level up into this, because it's here for you. If you have this intention, you're supported in doing so, but doing so in a way that is in tap with your higher awareness. So do please let me know in the comments below, group number 3, how this impressed upon you, how your impressions of, your opinions of this reading were. What does this resonate for you? I'd really love to know. You might also like to give this video a like if it was resonating for you, and if this really hit your vibe, you might want to hit that subscribe button, because it does really help the growth of this channel, and you might also want to hit that bell notification button to keep up to date with how this channel continues to evolve. Thank you so much, group number 3. Moving on to group number 4. Okay, group number 4. What do we have to offer you, group number 4? For what the energies around this intention for change, this resolution for change that you have are, what's supporting you, what the challenges might be, and what we could advise you as the ultimate outcomes and your best courses of action. So how first are your past actions, group number 4, influencing your choice to desire to change right now? We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So Ace of Pentacles is sort of the spiritual root, the root in the spirit domain of all that is manifested in the physical realm. So this is sort of like the really background conscious energies of what you wish to have in your life, and your physical manifested, your reality, the tangible reality around you. This is coming up in reverse. This might indicate that you have maybe you've been manifesting things in your life that you don't really care for, that you realize aren't working for you, and you want to tap into why you keep getting this coming up for you. I do have a video. I can put it in the post, or the post description below, about what are you manifesting. That might be a message that you could help you to orient to what's going on in this profile of your energy right now that's leading to this intention for change. We have the current actions, the present actions that are influencing your desire, your intention for change right now, group number 4. We have the Nine of Chalices. So the Nine of Chalices is a card that speaks of the near completion. So you're close to being at the fully manifested, the fully mature level of your emotional health, your emotional intelligence, because the cups are a suit that speak of emotions and possibly also of intentions. So you might be sitting in a space where, if you're noticing that you're manifesting things that maybe aren't serving you, you want to really begin to tap into that intuitive sense of who and what you are and how you're showing up for these manifestations. So again, you might like to check out that video. And this also is a card at the nines of the the minor arcana, speak of the collective consciousness. So you might be trying to tap into the collective consciousness of the earth and of the emotional well-being of the people around you in your life right now. And what are the proposed consequences, possibly unintended consequences, that are likely to happen in this current trajectory that you're walking on, group number 4? We have the Hermit. So you're likely to come into further inward turn. The Hermit is also a card that's ruled by Virgo. So it could be that you're going to be having to reevaluate and come into new habits, come into new practices, really pragmatic, practical, applied practices that bring about your life. So it could be that you're going to start being more intentional in the way that you manifest. It could be that you're going to be more intentional about the way that you show up for your emotional intelligence, your emotional well-being, group number 4. And again, like this inner phase, this inward turn, this turn to zeroing in on your inner being, and sort of like a cocooning phase. And we have more of what are the ways that you're showing up in your relationships? How is the context of your life likely to be affected by this choice of change, this intention for change that you have, group number 4? We have the Queen of Chalices. So if you're going to be stepping up into your emotional maturity, the Queen of Chalices, is the female apex of maturity in the emotions. You see all of this green energy here, very centered in the heart, very centered in the intuition, that sort of lateral rather than analytical thinking. And she's looking into the present. She's in the present moment right now. She's not looking to the past, not looking to the future. She is solidly oriented in now, because now is the only thing that truly exists. So this is part of how your context may be evolving to see you, is that you're evolving to see yourself as that queen of your own emotional energy, and also this sort of queen of your own heart, queen of your own ability to have that connection with your inner being and your intuition. So what are some of the challenges that you might seek or you might face in trying to bring about this change? Group number 4, we have the Knave of Swords. So this change that you're intending to bring about is also going to bring about a change, a new direction in the way that you think. So that'd be very clear. If you're intending to stop these manifestations that aren't serving you, the things that you're seeing in your reality that you don't like, you're tapping into your intuition, but by tapping into your intuition, you're going to change the way that you think in a broad way. So your mind is going to change completely. And that could be something that might be a little bit off-putting and a bit challenging to you, group number 4. And finally, your projected outcome. What is it likely that will happen? Again, with the knowledge that nothing is set in stone, you are the author of your own story, and you can always choose as you please, but given this current energetic path, this current energetic profile, what's the likely outcome for you, group number 4? We have Strength in reverse. So the Strength card is all about exorcising evil, coming into your power, stepping into your power. This card it's got lots of that purple energy as well, so it speaks of third eye and the crown chakra, so into that wisdom, that lateral rather than analytical vision. And coming up in reverse, this could be that there's another card that's evocative of the Hindu goddess Durga, or of Kali Ma, in the most sort of angry and intense removing of evil energies expression of Durga. You get Kali, and so it could be that this negativity that you've been experiencing in your physical reality is because Kali has been around, Durga has been around, be like, nope, not all evil for you. You are one of my children, and one of my children, I'm not going to put up with that crap. And so the outcome for you could be that negative, that sort of like that sense of being punished by a mother who is sort of like slapping you on the back of the wrist for doing things that you shouldn't be doing. That's going to be removed. Or there's going to be a breakthrough for you because you'll be stepping into your power, stepping into your inner strength. So different messages for different folks, but they're quite compatible sorts of interpretations. And do please hone in on your own interpretation of how these messages are coming forth. So what is our best advice to you, group number 4, for how to proceed, how you can best step forth into this positive change that you seek in your life? We have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is all about applying your mental energies to your physical reality. So planning very carefully and acting upon those plans. So the Knight of Pentacles serves the King and Queen of Pentacles. So make sure that your plans and your physical reality are serving you. And this could be, again, by coming into your inner being, stepping into your power, and planning out your life in a more dedicated fashion. Because the Knight of Pentacles is also very practical, very pragmatic, the most dedicated, the most grounded, the most earthy of the Knights. All right, so what are the wisdom of the flowers that we can share with you, group number 4? Have Azalea, Temperance. Find balance and be centered. Yep. Come into your inner being. Temperance in the tarot deck is also one of the major arcana cards that is ruled by Sagittarius. So this is all about expansion as well. So balancing yourself and coming to your inner center to temper out those things that aren't serving you, to produce your own internal antidote to those things that feel like they're negative in your life, and do so in a way that's expansive, looking to have a more open-minded approach. what's the words of wisdom of healing that we can offer to you, group number 4? We have trust in divine order. You are being helped, right? So you might feel quite alone in this, if you're going into this hermiting phase to achieve this change that you seek in your life, group number 4. But trust that you are supported. You have your spirit team is there to support you, and you do probably have people in your physical team as well that you can rely upon. You just need to call out to them. So if you need help, don't be afraid to speak out and ask for that help, because it's there for you. So remain balanced, remain centered. You're being supported in bringing this about. All right, group number 4 is the messages I have for you. I'd love it if you let me know in the comments down below, how did this reading resonate for you? What did it bring up for you? What sort of opinions or reflections do you have upon it? If you liked this video, you might like to give it a like. And if this was really hitting your vibe, you might also like to give us a subscribe and hit that bell notification button. So it will also very much help the growth of this channel and allow you to keep up to date with how this channel continues to evolve. Thank you so much, group number 4. I do hope to see you again very soon. And until that time, as always, go in peace to love and to serve. Namaste.